I, 19F, severely hurt my friend, 20M. And I don't know how to fix it. He'll see this and know it's me. Hi. Long story short, I'm really close with my friend, both in the literal and figurative sense. I told him yesterday that because I'd be disowned by my family, I'm not vaccinated. He's really, horribly hurt by that, because he's particularly at risk. I have the appointment on Wednesday to get my first dose and will probably get kicked out. Fine. I just don't know what to do to fix this now. ETA. I misled him. I didn't tell him that I was unvaccinated before hanging out and put him in danger. That is entirely my fault and unforgivable. Also, no one is forcing me to get the vaccine. I'm doing it so that he's safe, I'm not being forced. Girl, don't tell your family. If they notice a bandage, say it's a blood test. You're an adult and they're not entitled to your medical information. How to make it up to your friend: let him know you're sorry. Tell him you're getting vaccinated, be prepared to offer proof, and lastly ask him how to make it up to him. You fucked up, but now you're doing the right thing. Try to focus on repairing things rather than beating yourself up about the past. Don't tell your family you're getting vaccinated. That would be your second biggest mistake here. I think what really hurt your friend here was that you knew he was at risk and didn't want to be around unvaccinated people for his safety, yet you choose to not disclose that info, which you definitely seem to already understand. This is going to take a long time to heal from. Lying by omission is still lying, so it's going to take a long time to earn his trust. Just be prepared to have to deal with the repercussions of this lie for a while. I understand that it's hard to go against your family, but you never should have hung out with your friend before telling him the situation you're in. Just give your friend plenty of time, and be prepared to have to work toward earning back his trust for the rest of the friendship. Trust is not so easily earned back once broken. By not letting him know in advance about your vaccine status, you both took away his ability to make an informed decision about his level of risk and you endangered his health. Why do you think this is fixable? He might forgive you, he might not. It's out of your hands now. This is a joke, right? Honestly, you sound like you know you fucked up. I think an apology and maybe a lil gift will help smooth things over. I'm around your age, and if any of my friends did what you did, I'd honestly be pretty happy they changed their mind on the vax for me, albeit annoyed at the lying by omission. Our brains aren't quite fully formed yet and we make mistakes. That's okay. As long you take responsibility and change for the better, that's life, I think. All you can do is apologize for misleading him. At 19, it is hard to go against your family. Let him know that you are trying to make it right and that you will never knowingly put his health at risk again. Give him some space to let him work through this, but let him know that you'll be there for him. You're 19, a young adult. Don't lie to people when you're potentially affecting their health. For somebody you do care about, you would also want to communicate openly with them out of a sense of love and respect. If you are so inclined, you can go get vaccinated privately and it is none of your family's business. Make your choice either way. I obviously recommend getting vaccinated, but ignore the proactively ignorant, dishonest anti-vaccine grifters. She left me after 30 days of rafting on the Grand Canyon. First time poster, so I'll try to do my best to keep this in a good format. But wow, I am looking for some sort of advice. I, 25M, and J, 26F, had been together for just about 5 years. Our relationship had been seemingly very solid and we very often discussed marriage in the past year and both agreed that it was something that we were ready and felt confident enough to move forward into. We were going to move to a new city, start new jobs, buy a house and the whole 9 yards. We were thrilled about it. She had an opportunity arise to go and raft the Grand Canyon over 30 days. She is a huge fan of the river and has rafted, kayaked her whole life. I was super supportive and we were happy to put our life together on hold for a month while she went and experienced the river. While she was gone, I bought a ring and even went ahead and bought the wedding band because I was so confident. I wrote vows and the whole 9 yards. She got back from the Grand Canyon and was completely dissociated from me and our relationship and informed me that she fell in love with another man on the river, who also happens to be in a long-term relationship and lives in Alaska, far away from us. Other than these romantic feelings for this guy, she gave me quite literally zero additional information about why she was making this choice. I asked for her permission for me to send her an email about how I felt and she was okay with it, but never responded. Now for the advice. I have never had my heart broken or experienced serious emotional distress like this before, and I'm struggling with how to do it in a healthy way. This all happened about a week ago, and I just haven't made a drop of progress in processing it. I believe that a huge part of it has to do with the fact that I truly have no idea why this happened. There clearly was some sort of emotional baggage that she brought with her on the rafting trip. Otherwise I am not sure how this could have ever happened. I really want to be healthy about this and not resent her or resent my 5 years that I spent with her. I am looking into professional counseling because I think it could help me process it in a good way. But I guess I'd love to hear from other folks that have dealt with this and have any helpful tips on ways to move forward. Thanks a ton. Edit. Thank you so much for all the thoughtful replies. This honestly has been so helpful. It has given me a lot of information to digest. Wow, that is something. Promise yourself that you will not take her back. Heal, go on a trip. Get a change of scenery. And she cheated on you and now she's ghosting you. You were betrayed. You don't forgive her, you don't contact her. You block every form of contact you have of her. You cry. And one day you'll wake up and you won't feel sad anymore. I wonder if she thought the relationship was stale, and suddenly met someone who felt like a breath of fresh air for her. We can only speculate, but how she's chasing after a guy who's in a LDR is super unhealthy. I mean, what she did to you was bad enough. Sorry to hear of it, man. I got no advice for you other than comment that she's out ruining lives. At least it happened before you got engaged. BTW, don't try to take her back. Not only did she ruin your relationship, she's about to ruin another. The start of a relationship is like wild water rafting. And being in a relationship long term is more like paddling a canoe on a quiet river. Some people appreciate the calm and the beauty of that. Other people get restless and need the excitement of new adventure. The canoe people have the greatest chance of happiness in life. Your ex might not be that type. Or she might have been unhappy with her life in general and desperately wanting something to change, anything. And meeting someone new can feel like a do-over at life. So she clung to this. I doubt it'll make her happy, but who knows? My point is that what happened might not have anything to do with you or your relationship. Let her go. Grieve. And time will make it easier. It takes time to process heartbreak, so it's probably gonna suck for a while. What will help heal faster though is if you go total no contact. Block all ways for you to communicate with her, that you can. This is not to stop her contacting you, but to stop you contacting her in a moment of weakness. You'll be alright after a while and eventually be glad that it's over. It's good that you've got the new start lined up. The change of scenery and new friends will help. Like someone else mentioned, it's possible she met this guy before the trip and went on the trip with the intention of being with this guy. Either way, it's done. Do what most guys do, hit the gym, get on the apps, and maybe get some therapy. It's likely that her intense feelings of being alive and living her dream, the glory of nature, and the adrenaline of being on the river made the crush, then relationship, with the Alaskan seem extra amazing. However, those strong holiday feelings are probably going to disappear in the real world. Bet she regrets it all in time. Fuck that bitch, bro. Go strict no contact and watch her come crawling back. Don't take her back, man. My boyfriend feels uncomfortable paying for me. My 22F boyfriend, 27, of a year and a half just told me he feels weird, uncomfortable about paying for my cost of living regarding us moving abroad for half a year. This is a throwaway account. I'm an undergrad student, working part-time, plus I have a small stipend, which can sufficiently cover my expenses in a country in Central Europe. We used to split our rent 50-50 even when his income was 5 times higher, and he would pay for the food most of the time. Now he got an internship at one of the big tech companies in US. He asked me to come with him, my school and work is remote so it works out, and said he would provide financially for both of us as the cost of living is considerably higher there and his salary would be more than enough. Today, a few weeks before we move out, he told me he doesn't feel comfortable providing so, that the knowing that I would not be able to sustain myself and that the only way it's possible is with him paying for us makes him uncomfortable. I don't know how to feel about this since he said it's not about the money but about the whole principle. I wish I had enough to be able to live anywhere, but at the same time I'm mostly studying and not focusing on making a lot of money. At the same time I find this sad as I would not think of him similarly or as a burden, or anything if I knew that my significant other is making less and their financial timeline is at its beginning. What should I do? How should I approach this? P.S. We have both previously lived in the US, before we knew each other. Edit. 3 months ago we moved to a different place that is half as cheap and he pays for it fully. Meanwhile I got a place 1 month ago, in a different country within EU. Since my semester was supposed to be there and to our favor I have the chance to do it online, So I've only spent 2 weeks there and already talked to someone who could substitute me from the end of this month so we can stay living together. Right now we are together at his place and he never complained about him paying for the rent and food here. This sounds more like a breakup to me, to be honest. He has a point, op. You haven't thought this plan through very well. You have no support network, job security or plans. What happens if things fall through with you too? What happens if he loses his job? There's no consideration for Murphy's Law here, and that's not good. If things go wrong, there would be a high probability of you being homeless in a foreign country. It's fair of him to be concerned about that. I think he worries that if you break up you wouldn't be able to live by yourself. I earn much less than you and you asked me to move. You'll have to keep your promise and pay or I can't go with you. Someone who made you pay 50-50 when he made 5x what you made is someone that was lying about supporting you when he convinced you to move continents with him. You should make plans to return home before he puts you in a position where you can't afford to or can't complete your education. Isolation from your friends and family and soon the inability to afford to leave him, yet being made to feel like you owe him? This is not looking good for you. Maybe let him move first, and when you can find a good job there, you move. His thinking also makes sense as all the responsibility will be on him. He might also is thinking about what if something happens between you two, then you won't have anywhere to go. Also, never be totally dependent financially on someone. Be financially independent and then take such big decisions. He's trying to get you to break up with him. Do not go. You will get dumped in a different country with no way to support yourself. I'm sorry, but it sounds like he's having doubts about the relationship. And that's fair. Do not go. Stay back and finish up your degree. If he misses you, he will send for you. If not, and you call it quits, you will be in a very familiar place and have more supports in place. There is no way to go to undergrad full-time in the US and live on a stipend, unless that stipend gives you at least $2,000 per month and you can live with roommates and are in a city with public transit. Husband broke up with me out of the blue. My 29F husband, 27M. Told me 3 days ago that he is not in love with me anymore and he wants to break up with me. I didn't notice anything would be wrong with our relationship, so it got me really sudden. We are together for 7 years and living abroad without many friends. He is my best friend and I am very much in love with him. I really don't know how to continue with my life. He wants to stay friends because I am his best friend and he loves me and cares for me, but I can't do that. I recommended therapy but he is against it. The fact that he is so firm on this and rather choose rent a room in a shared flat than try to fix our life together scares me and confuses me. What can a heartbroken person do? English is not my first language, so sorry for any mistakes. Please get therapy for yourself and stop trying to convince him to come back. I'm sorry. Please move home, get that family support. You're young, there's an entire world for you far away from him. Do not waste any time being his friend, it will just make healing harder for you. If it's done, pack up and go home. It seemed to me he phoned someone else, for it to be this sudden? Well, can be sure anyways. But there is nothing else to exec trying to move on. Same things happened to me. My girlfriend for last 14 years break up for me last month. Normal relationship. Last 6 years we stay together. Some routine in relationship in last 2 years with COVID restriction, but never think it break up. She doesn't want therapy, she doesn't want to try something. Still says she loves me, she care about me, but right now she doesn't have power to try. It's though, I know. Only you know what's in your heart, in your mind. Take care of you. It's never out of the blues. I have to say that a huge shift like that when you've been together for that long, starting that young, and you say there weren't any preceding issues makes me wonder if this is related to his sexuality. Once again, curious how because it's a dude leaving he must have found someone else, or, he is questioning his sexuality. But genders reversed. The top comments are talking about missing reasons, and #X200B. We don't know why the guy chose to leave. Doesn't seem like a spur-of-the-moment decision. In the end, it doesn't really matter right now. Hypothesizing why won't help op move on. She can look back with a clear head to see what the issues were in the relationship that led to the breakup if she wants to, but right now she needs to focus on healing. He's cheating on you. Let him go. He's not a husband or a friend at this point.